This is the inside of the Swift Challenger 635 Lux. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just here. On this side here we have awning light on and off. We then have a dimmable lighting on and off. And then we have the main isolator switch for the rest of the lights. These can all then be individually turned on and off on their own switches. And then we have water pump on and off just here. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. All other information is then given via scrolling on the arrows just here. So if I just go back to the beginning, you'll see at the moment that we have a little L for leisure battery just there, just indicating that is what we're using. We have a little picture of a sun letting us know that the solar panel is active. We have the lightning strike indicating that we're currently connected to mains electricity. We then have the time, condition of the leisure battery just there. It's also telling us that it's a Sargent EC 620 control panel. If I now begin to scroll, we have system settings first, and if I now use the middle arrow, we can then go into the settings and we can alter the time. We can delete any Bluetooth devices that have been connected up to the control panel for the Swift command system, and we can also pair. If you're going to pair up to the Swift command, you need to firstly download the Swift command app onto your device. Make sure your Bluetooth is turned on and then launch it and follow the instructions, and it will basically ask you to come to this and press the Bluetooth pair, and then you can then begin pairing up to it. Once you're connected, you can then control your heating, hot water, etc. all via the app. Tank alarms we just need off because this does not have an onboard water tank. How quickly before these blue LEDs time out. How quickly before the backlight times out when it's not being used. Key beeps on or off. And then we go back to the beginning again, setting the date, time, etc. And then just exit the settings. After that we then have heater settings. If you are going to be controlling the Aldi heating and hot water via the app, you do need to go into this and take it out of manual and put it into app mode. Next we just have the dimmer level for the dimmable lighting, so we can brighten it up or dim it down. Again, this can be done via the app if it's connected up. Internal temperature. AC limiter, so this is fitted with an AC limiter, so if you're on a site and you know how many amps it is, you can literally arrow across, pick on here. So let's say we're on a 10 amp site. At the moment we're currently using 1.6 amps. If you go over 10 amps, so whatever you're trying to use will not work until you turn something else off. And as you can see, it will go right the way up to 16 amps. Select battery. This is a caravan, not a motorhome, so we cannot select a different battery. What the solar panel is up to. Obviously we do not have a vehicle battery. And you can see at the moment that the leisure battery is charging from the main supply. And then we end up back at the beginning again. If we now move across to the Aldi control panel, I can turn it on just here. On initial startup, it will let you know if you have main supply connected and give you an internal temperature of the caravan. If I now press menu, it will bring up its basic functions. So at the top here we have the thermostat for the heating, just literally plus and minus, pick whatever temperature you would like it to be inside the caravan, and it will go right the way up to 30 degrees. Next we have hot water. So currently hot water off, hot water on, and if I press it again, hot water on boost. Boost is very handy if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other, or if you just want hot water very quickly. If you do perform the boost and the heating's running, it will turn the heating off. So even though at the moment turned heating on, turned hot water on, the system hasn't actually fired up yet because we haven't given it a power source. So if we're hooked up to main supply, we can run it on a mains electric. We can run it on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts, so just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on. And if we don't have main supply at all, we can run on gas. What we can also do with this is, if we have both power sources available, running dual fuel. Again, very handy in the winter months to get up to temperature nice and quickly, and it will only consume gas as it's required. If I now press the cog, we'll go into the settings menu, and in here we have a night mode. So to activate night mode, just turn it on up here. Set the temperature you would like it to be at night time. Set when you would like night mode to start and whether it's for all days of the week or just individual. And then when you would like night mode to finish. You can invert the backlight for that period as well, so the screen goes to black, the writing goes to white. And you can also tell the boiler that you do not want any hot water made for that period. Very handy if you're wild camping to avoid wasting gas heating hot water up whilst you're sleeping. Next we have day mode, virtually the same as night mode. Prioritise is what the system prioritises whilst in dual fuel mode. So majority of the time you want it so it prioritises mains electricity over gas. If you are on an extremely low amp site, you can flip it on its head so it consumes more gas and less electric. Brightness of the screen, etc. just here. This one is not used on this particular model. And then this one here is just set the correct time and day of the week. This one is called antimicrobial. You do have to be using night mode as well for this to work. Basically what will happen is, in the middle of the night the boiler will come on and then heat itself up very rapidly to kill off any bacteria that may be in the system. Temperature offset just for the onboard thermostat, so if you don't think it's quite correct you can just slightly adjust it. High altitude mode just here, so if you are using the caravan 1,000 meters or more above sea level, just activate this to make it run efficiently at a different air pressure. Key beeps on and off just here. One delayed start and stop timer to the system. Pump settings just here, just leave it set to thermal. This is for the heating system. You do not want it on continuous. Full factory reset, so if there is a problem you can just reset the control panel. External start, you don't need to worry about it because this is set up to work through the Swift command system. Change the language. Service, more for the workshop, but it will let you know what everything is up to. So it'll let you know the temperature in the radiators and the water temperature in the boiler. And then installed accessories, there is nothing in here that you really require. If this wasn't already fitted with the AC limiter, I would suggest activating the load monitor, but it's not required. If I now come down to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, we have the Aldi boiler just there. If I now lift up here, we have the onboard water pump just there and the surge dampener for it. We then have the boiler drain valve just here. So to drain the boiler down for either travel or winterization, all we need to do is firstly make sure that the water pump has been turned off. Then come to the drain, flap it up like so, and then all the water will begin to drain itself out of the boiler. If you are fully winterizing the caravan, I always suggest that you also go round the caravan and open up all of the taps as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system. When it comes to refilling the boiler, close the taps, close the drain valve, fill up the aqua roll, drop in the submersible, turn on the 12 volt and then the water pump, and then it will begin to refill the boiler back up again. Let it run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps up. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on both hot and cold, close, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Also in here we have both control boards for the Power Touch motor mover. The battery charger just sits here, and then sitting just here is the consumer unit. So we have the main strip switches just there, so we've got the individual MCBs, main RCD and test button. As you can see, they are numbered up and then correspond on the sticker just here. Next we have the 12 volt fuses. Again, they are labelled up and correspond on here. If a 12 volt fuse has blown, a red light will illuminate underneath it to let you know. We then have two isolator switches here for components that use mains electricity. So we have this amber one here for the Aldi heating and hot water system. So if I turn this off here, the heating and hot water system will not work on the main supply. So quite frankly, this can be left alone. It's more for maintenance than anything else. And the same with the battery charger as well. If we turn this off, you will not be able to charge the leisure battery from the main supply. We have a reverse polarity indicator just here. This will illuminate. You can sometimes find reverse polarity on some continental sites. And then over on the left hand side we have full system shutdown. So if you're planning on not using the caravan for a long period of time, you can press this black button and it will then kill any residual draw on the leisure battery. This can be very effective, especially in the winter months. If I now move across to the other bench seat and again remove the cushions, we have plenty of storage beneath. We also have the alarm box just there with the PIR sensor just there. Also, just tucked at the end here are some more 12 volt fuses, and again they are all labelled up. In the overhead locker just here is the head unit. So to turn it on, just press the source button. USB connectivity and auxiliary connectivity just here. CD in here, eject just here. Change tracks or search for radio stations just here. And then we have volume control in the centre. To get into the setup menu, just hold the display down and then just navigate by twisting the volume. and then turn back off again just here. Previous owner has also added another 12 volt socket just there. Microwave just here, so this will work when connected to mains electricity. It's always advisable to remove the contents for travel. We have the fairly normal, we have quick start just here, stop, etc. And then all the normal power settings, defrost, etc. just there. In the overhead locker just here, as you can see, we've got a 3-pin socket, but we've also got the solar panel regulator just there. We don't need to do anything with this. It will just smart charge the leisure battery as it's required. The microwave is just plugged in this overhead locker. We then have the hob. So we've got the electric hot plate, which, like the microwave, will work when we're hooked up to main supply, and it operates just here. Everything else is gas, and it's just a matter of pushing, twisting, and then pressing the igniter. Beneath that we have the grill. And then the oven. Storage beneath the oven, but there's also a plug plugged in, which is just for the electric hot plate. Some of the gas isolation taps are located in this cupboard. They are colour coded and then just match on the sticker just there. They're all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. Again, I just say they're more for maintenance than anything else. If you do smell gas in the caravan, go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. Fridge freezer just here. So to turn the unit on, just press here. We then have little picture of a 2-pin plug, so if you're connected to main supply, pop it onto this one here. If you do not have any mains, you can run the fridge on gas and just press the little picture of the flame, and then it will auto light itself. And then lastly we have a picture of a battery, and this one here is 12 volt maintain, and this is what we switch the fridge to when we're towing to keep it cold whilst on the move. So if I press it at the moment, it's going to beep at us and we're going to get a red flashing triangle just here because we're not connected up to a tow vehicle. We will also get this noise if we're trying to run it on main supply and we're not connected up, or if we're trying to run it on gas and our gas is depleted or not turned on. If you think it may just be down to the fact there might be a bit of air in the system, you can just press the button just there as it indicates just here, and it will then reattempt to fire itself back up onto gas. Temperature control. And then we have the removable freezer box just there, and then the fridge beneath. Freestanding table just in this cupboard here, and then above the fridge is the television aerial. So to use the TV aerial, just undo the collar just here and then push the mast up. This green window here represents the back of the aerial, so you know which way it's pointing. Once you're in the position you require, just lock it into place. Try to avoid over tightening these collars because you can split them. H is for horizontal. You can flip the aerial into the vertical position for additional tuning, and all you need to do is just turn the tail at the bottom just here. At the back there is the digital amplifier for the TV aerial, on and off just here, and control the boost just here. Once this is all set up, all you need to do is just pop your TV on the bracket and then plug it in, depending whether it's a mains TV or a 12 volt, and then just plug your aerial fly lead in just here and then tune it in. Do always make sure that the aerial is down for travel. We now come into the washroom. So we have the shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is secure for travel. We then have the basin just here. And the toilet. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across, push to flush just here, and then close up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out, so if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left this open. Level indicator just here, so it will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. Bedroom at the back. So again we have another TV bracket just here, and again up here we have main socket 12 volt and aerial fly lead in. Plenty of storage beneath the bed, which holds up on a gas strut. To extend the bed, just pull towards you and then just drop the infill into place. In the wardrobe is the header tank for the Aldi heating. Just make sure that the fluid level is between the minimum and the maximum. Always take your reading once the heating is up to temperature, as it will expand in the header tank. If it does need topping up, just remove the collar and then unscrew the top just here. Just make sure that you are using the correct Aldi top-up solution. The front double bed is very easy to make. Just pull the slats across and then just drop in the cushions. I personally prefer to flip the cushions over because they're much flatter on the underside.